Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast Retro Life for You. My name is Chris Adams, host of the show, and with me this week is always, or almost always,
Yeah, as a lot
nearly,
ways.
nearly almost always, more often than not here lately,
Yeah, absolutely.
Travis Rollins.
Travis Rollins.
Travis
Woo!
Rollins. Travis
I'm
Rollins,
thin
how are
today.
you today?
I'm thin today. I'm good today, other than having some sinuses going on with this weather by Sybil that we have around here these days.
Yeah, a tad bit under the weather.
Yeah,
Sinuses, the time of year will kick your tail in the South,
I'm
man.
telling you, it's hard to deal with when it's 50 degrees one day, 80 degrees the next, raining and 22 degrees the next.
You ain't lying. You are absolutely telling the truth there.
How about yourself? How's Tennessee out
Tennessee is just as bad with that stuff as it is in South Carolina. That's for sure.
there?
But luckily for me, I haven't really had a lot of issues with it, and I don't have anything wood nearby to knock on. So let's hope nothing catches me.
Right on.
So I mean, I get a fairly good immune system, hopefully. So
Heck
uh,
yeah.
this week we are going to travel down the old Arnie Schwarzenegger lane.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've heard the real Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, not the Travis Rollins
It has
Schwarzenegger
been.
voice. And no, I don't have
Yeah.
any sound
Are
files for
you
this week.
serious? That would be great
I
if you
do,
did.
but I forgot to add them on before the show got here. So I mean,
Oh man.
it's my bad.
That's all. You know what? Arnie's got enough movies and has won enough watches to where we can do plenty of shows in the future.
That's correct.
This movie, by the way, it is a Casio G-Shock DW 5500.
Hey, who, what, where?
The Arnold's watch.
Oh, okay. The what? I forgot. Every Arnold movie, we have to know what watch he's wearing. Ever since the Commando movie with the one that goes boop boop
Yeah,
boop
that don't really do.
boop.
But what's funny is the daggum G-Shock will do that.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Yeah,
Running
the Running
Man,
Man,
the
the
Running
Butcher of
Man,
Bakersfield,
uh, the alleged butcher,
alleged Butcher of
alleged
Bakersfield.
butcher.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't. It wasn't the Tuma either that made him do it. The budget of this movie estimated $27 million, and it only grossed 38,122,105.
Hmm.
Something about Arnold's movies that we love, but some of them, the ones that we really love, like this one, did not exactly become a blockbuster. It was like it
Right.
was just an average movie for the summer or something.
Yeah, it
But
seems like
in
some
this
of them
case,
do. They reach more after they come out, like on VHS and all, because it's like everybody
yeah,
had this. Everybody's seen this movie. I remember when we were kids, it shot on HBO like every weekend.
yeah, I'm sure it's made a ton of ton of money over the years for this movie, tongue
Mm-hmm.
twister. But at the time, and it wasn't summer; it was a fall movie. It's November, looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So November 13th, '87 was the release date. But I mean, it's got a great cast in it, though. I mean, Arnold always puts
It does.
together a good cast of people.
I think too something that may have hurt this one is the fact that back then an action movie didn't usually go for 1 hour and 41 minutes. That was a sitter back
Well, I mean,
then. They
I
were
don't.
usually about 90 minutes, 111, 112.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that much longer, though. Really, I mean, an
Yeah.
hour and 40 minutes versus an hour and a half. You get an extra 10 minutes of movie out of it. I don't know if I'd necessarily
Yeah, that's true.
say that was the real reason. I mean, it's
Yeah, because
man,
90 minutes, yeah, that would be, yeah, 100 and what I say it was 100 and how many minutes? An hour and 41 minutes. So that's 60,
yeah,
41. That's 101. So yeah, it isn't that long, is it?
no, it's not really a lot that long, really. But I
Mm-mm.
mean, we'll go ahead and touch on some of this cast here. We'll leave Arnold for the last because we know what Arnold's been in mostly. Uh,
Right.
we mentioned just before the show started, Maria Conchita Alonso was in this movie. She played Amber
Yes.
Mendez. And
Maria, Maria.
I mean, I told Travis, I've really forgotten how pretty she was back then.
She remind me of a
She's
West Side Story.
what was that movie she was in for? Was it Colors? She was in Colors, wasn't she?
Oh man, I just had her pulled up too.
I,
She
I'm
may have
looking
been in
now.
Colors.
Well, Predator 2, she was in Predator 2.
Yes.
She played one of the cops with
Mhm.
Sergeant Murtaugh,
With
yeah,
Sergeant Murtaugh.
Danny Glover.
Right.
Um, and I'm scrolling down now. I'm getting back to it. I had it up earlier too, and I let it go like a dummy. So there's the running. Yeah,
she
Colors.
she was in Knight Rider.
She was Luisa
Let's
Gomez in
see.
Colors.
Okay. Yeah.
But she had a lot of stuff before then, though. Like you mentioned, Knight Rider. She had a lot of TV series episodes.
Hmm.
There's a Fantasy Island I see. There's, like you said, Knight Rider. She's got some Hispanic work she's done. I mean, things that we probably wouldn't have seen back then.
Finis de mano, Telemundo.
Exactly. And I don't believe I remember having Telemundo when I was young.
No, no, we didn't have no
So,
Telemundo when we was kids.
so 1978 looks like the first things in here. It just says blah blah blah. Seriously, it says just
Right.
blah blah blah.
Right. That's the title. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
So I mean, I don't know what
I
it's
don't
about or
say
anything.
blah blah blah.
That's the Estefania TV series, Savannah. There's a lot of
Right.
things that we really just don't know. I think the first thing that we really knew her in was, well, I know A Fine Mess was a good movie. It was funny.
Yeah, I don't
Did
remember
you?
that. And I would say my first one would have to be this one. Or Predator. Yeah, no, it'd be this one because this was before
Yeah,
Predator 2.
this was for Predator
It
2.
was this or Colors, one of the
Yeah.
two.
Well, it was this one because Colors came out a year later.
Yeah. But I don't know when I
So
would have seen it, either one first.
that's a good point
Yeah.
because I don't know for a fact that I don't remember for a fact if I watched Running Man at the theater or not.
I bet you I didn't watch Colors until I was into my late teens. You know what I mean? I was into movies like New Jack City and stuff, and then I heard about Colors and went back. Like I could remember watching Colors, and I'm positive I wasn't until 16, 17 years old.
Well, 1987, I would have been a freshman in high school. So
Okay,
I was probably if I did watch it at the theater, that would have been me getting dropped off at a theater and left for a while to watch it
right.
and whatever else. I mean,
So
I
I
do
don't even.
remember watching
I don't know
Colors. I
what
watched
grade I
Colors
was
at
in.
home.
I don't know what grade I was in. I would have been. It's easy to keep up with my age because I was born in 1980, like on the money. So in 88 or 87, I was 7, 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely wouldn't have watched it then.
Yeah,
But
nah. But Running Man, I saw Running Man. I know. I'm sure my dad may have taken me to the movies to see it
well,
because
I
we
know
could go
for
to R-rated movies back then.
yeah, no, I know for a fact I seen Colors at home and I saw
Hmm.
Predator 2 at the theater. That's no doubt in my mind on that. It's just the
Right.
Running Man. It could have been VHS when I saw it. I can't swear to it either way.
Oh, she was in a Vampire's Kiss too. Old Nick Cage movie. That was actually a pretty funny one.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's pretty funny.
Hmm.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but
Well, it looks like
maybe
she had more TV work in the 90s. Chicago Hope, FX, the series, The Nanny.
Chicago Hope. Yeah.
That was like
Boosters.
a little.
Texas. That was a big TV movie. I remember that was a big event on like was it ABC or something? It might have been.
Chicago Hope was like a weak attempt at ER, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember
Showing
ever
up.
watching
Oh,
it.
Touched by an Angel. I remember my mama and everybody's mama and grandma was watching some Touched by the Angel in '99, boy.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's correct. I don't really see anything else that stands out to me movie wise or anything, even recent. I mean, nothing that
not
I
even
really.
Kingpin. Like this ain't even the Kingpin movie. This is the TV miniseries we've never heard of.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, she was good back in the day for what she did. I remember she wasn't exactly one of the most sought after actresses. She wasn't the biggest,
Mhm.
most well
Oh, we have to
known.
mention this one though now because this is one of the ones that my guy got a lot of flack for, but I thought was a really good movie. Was the Lords of Salem, which is Rob Zombie. She played Alice Mateus in that,
I have not seen it.
so that's pretty good. Oh, I'm a sucker for a Zombie movie, dude.
Did you like
Uh,
his redos of didn't is he the one that redid
Halloween,
Halloween?
yeah, I loved him. I absolutely loved him. I liked it so much because he went deeper into Michael's psyche, like what would have broken a kid to do this and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
was, and then wrote it like how we could have fractured a mind and then pulled it into now he's just evil. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, for me, it was okay. I mean, I watched the first one he redid,
Hmm.
and it was okay for me. I didn't. I'm not gonna say I liked it better than the original, but you know me, I'm a stickler for the originals. I prefer the things as I originally watched them. I mean,
Oh,
remaking
Lord, I
some
would yeah, I
things.
wouldn't say it was better at all. I loved me some Dr. Loomis running around chasing him, dude. Dr. Loomis was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to have things, the whatnot. It's just like saying, I mean, I do like some of the ones that are redone, but I like them for different reasons. Like
Yeah,
take Footloose for example. The remake of Footloose does not, in my opinion, touch the original,
it's
but
not even close.
it's good for the time it was released and what it was
Mhm.
and how they did it. It was pretty decent. So I did like the remake of it, but I didn't. If you're comparing it, then nothing touches the original to me. The other one will not get close to it.
Right, right. How about so talking about our stars in this movie, how about Yaphet Kotto? Remember
Just
Yaphet?
look. I was just looking at him a second ago. I know I'd seen him in other things, and
Yeah, I remember growing up watching that dude,
Alien
and he been
stands
in
out.
so
Alien
much
for
stuff.
sure. Midnight Run with Charles Grodin.
Mhm.
I think
No,
Charles
he's been in
Grodin was in
tons of
that.
stuff, man. Oh, wait, from back too. Let's see,
Let's go a little bit further back here. So I'm
1964.
I'm dropping down here into the late 70s, early 80s here. See what I find on
Yeah.
there. So,
He was,
I mean,
he
for me
was
in the
in Hawaii
70s,
5-0.
yeah, but
See,
nothing
this
really
is where
stands
I
out to me
seen
in the 70s though.
well, what
Nothing really
stands out to
stands
me is
out.
this is where I've seen him this is where I remember seeing him from, because I've always been like, "I know that guy, I know that guy." So, it looks to me like he was one of those Sunday morning types, that I would have watched at my grandmother's house because 'cause he's been in Tarzan, he's been in The Big Valley. If it was a Western, we were watching it at my grandma and grandpa's. So The Big Valley, Five Card Stud, Bonanza, uh, Hawaii 5-0. Like we watched all the stuff at my grandparents' house. And then you had Daniel Boone. He was in 2 episodes of Daniel Boone and Gunsmoke. So I would have seen him from those television shows.
I I've probably seen him in Gunsmoke and just didn't realize that it was
Hmm.
him because I've watched, pretty much a lot of Gunsmoke the last few years.
Right.
Now Bonanza, I love the show, but I haven't seen all of them, as far as that goes. That's a show I could go back and watch if I had full seasons to binge or something, I could do that.
Right, right. Well, he's got
Um,
one of the faces too that like he's very unique looking. If
do
you
you know
know
where I
like
remember
you
him
know that
from?
guy.
Do you know the
What's that?
earliest I remember seeing him in?
What's that?
And I just saw it on here, when I saw it, I immediately knew, the A-Team.
Okay, yep.
There's an episode of the A-Team, I think in the 1st or 2nd season, he
Mhm.
plays this guy who owns a club across town, but he sends in his goons, to, pressure the people in this one street for protection money.
Okay,
And,
yeah.
they go in one day, and, as they're telling him what he owes, basically, they're trying to say, "You gotta pay this money. This is what you owe." It says, "Read him the score, face," and he tells him how much the money is, and he says, "What day is trash day?" And he says, "What?" He goes, "I wanna know what day trash day is around here. Come on, let me know." And he says, "It's tomorrow, tomorrow." He says, "Well, we thought we'd mark your calendar for you, and just so you wouldn't forget it." So they back up a big giant trash truck and dump everything in his club.
Heck yeah.
It just really it stood out when I saw that day it was, from there for sure. Now movie-wise, first movie I think I would have seen him in, as I'm scrolling up through here, it's
Mhm.
probably Alien.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Alien, 'cause I don't remember
Heck yeah.
any of these others seeing him in them.
I definitely remember him from the earlier westerns, and then I have seen him in the TV movie that he did with James Woods. I'm sure it was a rerun that I remember, and I thought that I was watching in the heat of the night or something. But he was in Badge of the Assassin is the name of the movie.
Yeah,
Came out
Detective
in
Cliff.
'85, and it was a TV movie that I'm sure reran.
It says here Detective Cliff Fenton, NYPD.
Hmm.
Oh, Eye of the Tiger. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember him in Eye of the Tiger now too that I see that. We
Mm.
talked about this on another episode, if you remember. I asked you, have you ever seen Eye of the Tiger with Gary Busey in it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Sure enough, that's one I got to get back and watch.
Let's see. Terminal Entry, The Running Man, Perry Mason movies on TV, Midnight Run, Prime Target, a TV movie.
Now, here's where I remember him 100% the most from right here from 1991. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. He was the
Yep.
doc in Freddy's Dead.
Yep.
I guarantee you that's the one that he stands out in my mind most of all, aside from Running Man. But I wouldn't have remembered him in Running Man because he's kind of a side character, you know.
Right.
He's
I
an
mean,
important part of Running Man.
yeah, he was in a lot of the movie. It's not like he was just in 5 minutes or anything.
Yeah, Laughlin was he was a key character, I think.
Well,
And then we
as I
had
scroll up into 2000s, I mean, you got some things now. He stopped. Looks like his last gig he did was a voice for Alien Isolation, a video game.
uh-huh.
That's in 2014.
Hmm.
Now, is he still with us or has he passed away?
Oh, I didn't see that part. I was on to our next person to discuss.
He's passed away. He passed away in 2021.
Okay. Okay.
You see that there. Um, who we got next?
Oh, I had moved on to the one and only Mr. Jim Brown.
Oh well, now why does that name sound familiar? Cough, football, cough.
Right? No kidding.
Right.
That and he's been in somewhere. He's done a lot, like
Oh yeah, he was in.
with film and TV.
Yeah, I think he did a lot of them back in the 70s, didn't he?
Yeah, he did from the '60s forward. I think he started. Yeah, he did some stuff back in the '60s that I'm not real familiar with. Let's see. What's not the first thing I remember him from? So we'll go with the first thing, the earliest thing that I've seen with him in it, which is okay. It's none of these movies. It's going to be a toss up between Chips and Knight Rider.
You didn't see the Dirty Dozen,
Oh, where is that? I didn't see that on the list. Oh, okay. Hang on a minute.
1967. Robert T. Jefferson in the
That's the
Dirty
old.
Dozen.
Yeah, that's the old army movie. I've seen that 100 times probably. So there we go. So yeah, the Dirty Dozen. Then I guess.
Well, there was that. Let's see. For me, I would say scrolling on up here. See, there he is in Knight Rider. T.J. Hooker, Cover Up. I used to watch all those shows. The A Team. Oh,
Hmm.
Running Man, which is what we're doing today.
Well, see what
Um,
I.
so probably the Running Man from I guess a movie
Yeah.
for me. I mean, I didn't really get too much into um the Dirty Dozen. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but it
I
wasn't
probably
something.
watched it with my grandfather. Like I said, my grandma and grandpa's. If it was doggone family Disney stuff, or it was westerns, or it was old war movies. Like what's the one? The something about a bridge. The bridge over the River Kwai. I've actually
Yeah,
seen that.
yeah. I've seen
Something.
some of it. Original Gangsters. That's what I was thinking of. He was in Original Gangsters.
Yes, he was in Original Gangsters, and then I remember from that Mars Attacks. Uh, uh, he got game. Any given Sunday. So he went on like he got bigger. I feel like in the late '90s to early 2000s.
I think
He went on kind of a run there.
did a voice in Small Soldiers too. I think.
Yeah, and I want to say I swear to God I thought he was in uh shoot Saturday Night Feet. No, oh man, come on now, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall and that like everybody. You know what I
Coming to
mean?
America?
No, 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 not that one. It was about. It might have been the Original Gangsters. I'm thinking of actually. Is that a funny movie?
No,
That ain't no
no.
funny movie.
Uh-uh.
He seems like he did a comedy, man. That was hilarious. Oh yeah, no, this the one with Pam Grier and okay, I remember this movie.
Yeah, they're like the
Yeah,
originals on their block. That was
right,
gangsters, and
right.
they're these young kids were trying to rise up and run that neighborhood and cause their family, like I guess, problems or families and friends.
Yeah,
So they get the old group back together and show them what it was like to be really gangsters or something.
I can't remember. I cannot believe that I can't remember that old movie, but it was hilarious. And then he was in some silly movie where what? Hold up, was he not in?
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
That's it. I'm gonna get you, sucker. Was the funny one because that's what he's talking about his bunion. And I swear, if I were going, he was in Dust Till Dawn, wasn't he? Wasn't that Jim Brown?
No,
Who was that?
no, that's the guy that played Shaft, I think.
Okay, okay. That's
Richard
my bad. I got them two
something,
mixed up.
Richard something, right? Roundtree or
Yeah,
something along those lines.
yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. I might be getting them two mixed up as far as the movies that I remember them in too.
It's okay. I mean, as I've said before, it's hard to get good help. Everybody. I mean, he's
I'm
supposed to know these things, and
supposed to
he's just
know.
not prepared. He's not prepared. He's
Mm-mm.
not ready to go.
I'm gonna blame it on my prednisone.
I mean, he's got the internet's right in front of him. He could be looking on there,
I am
but
looking on there, and that's what I'm saying.
no.
Sometimes I have found mistakes in the internets.
I'm gonna skip this next person that you're probably looking at. I want to go to Erlen Van Lith. He
Okay,
played Dynamo.
we'll save the male mayor for later.
Yeah, but this guy played Dynamo. Now, for those of you who have watched Running Man, you remember Dynamo as the opera singing dude that's
Mm-hmm.
all lit up with lights.
Mm-hmm.
Schwarzenegger's character Ben Richards is yelling at him to come after him instead of the girl. He's calling him Christmas tree and light bulb or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
Hey, Christmas tree, light
yeah,
bulb.
come this way, come after me. And then I was telling Travis earlier, I'm looking at this picture. I'm like, where have I seen this guy before? I can't place where I'd seen him. And then I went and looked, and I was like, there it is. So this guy was in Stir Crazy with Richard Pryor and uh oh my gosh, Travis,
What?
you're supposed to back me up on here. I just forgot the other guy's name, Richard
Gene
Pryor
Wilder.
and
Gene Wilder.
Wilder, Gene Wilder. There you go. How I could not come up with that name is beyond me. We've said it a million times. We'll say it a million times again for this podcast ever ends. Getting old sucks. You don't remember
Yep, yep.
things as you used to.
That's right. Or
They were
just
a good
sometimes not prepared.
no, but they had not prepared. Travis can't get good help. He can't get a good co-host. Um, they were a good comedy duo back in the day. Silver
Yeah.
Bullet, Stir Crazy, Bustin'
Hmm.
Loose, See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Hmm.
A lot of good things together that they did. But Erlen Van Lith was in Stir Crazy with him. He was the guy in prison that nobody wanted to be around because of who he'd killed and how he'd done it and stuff. I
Right.
remember they get stuck in the cell with him and don't know how to act around him. And Richard Pryor's character is just always he's just basically crying. It gets crazy. Uh where is he at here? Where you go to? Now what else was there? There was that. There was Alone in the Dark, The Wanderers. He wasn't
Yeah,
in much.
yeah, I was gonna say I only did like 7 things.
Well, he's not done much at all. I mean, he just must have got the bug for it for a minute and said, I ain't doing this no more.
Right.
Or more likely what happened, he died in 1987 when this movie came out.
Oh, that could have happened too. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
that
I'm
could have
looking at it
happened.
right now. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Um, says here about him. I just caught a glimpse of this. It says here he worked in computers actually, ultimately starting his own company, fitting in his movie shoots as well as his studies toward an operatic career. So I guess he really did do the
Wow.
opera stuff.
Isn't
Originally
that
a bass
something?
baritone, appeared many times as a well-known Amato opera in New York.
Okay.
Eventually worked his way into held in baritone repertoire.
Okay.
How about
Well,
that?
that's pretty neat.
Yeah. I would not have
Yeah.
pictured him. I would not have pictured him as somebody who had been working in the field of computers though. Says he pursued amateur wrestling, going to the 76 Montreal Olympics as a heavyweight alternate and a
Oh wow.
hopeful for the 1980 Moscow Olympics, which the US did not attend.
Right.
So I mean, he had some fairly good things going on in his life there.
Heck yeah. That's crazy. Sound like it ended a little early for him.
Things we didn't know. I mean, I really thought the opera stuff was something that they had kind of just slipped in there with some editing or something. I didn't know he was really singing that.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Okay, so let's go to the next hunter here. I think they were called, wasn't they?
Stalkers.
Stalker. The next Stalker, Buzzsaw,
Was he the
played
next
by
one?
Gus Rethwish.
Yes, Gus Rethwish. Yeah, because our next person in line was Marvin J. McIntyre, who played Weiss, who was the other. guy who helped Ani escape from the prison that they were in at the beginning of the movie.
He is. I was just looking at the stalkers for a minute first. That's what
Yeah.
we've been. So other movies he's been known for. Three that comes off the top here. I'm looking at the Scorpion King,
Mm-hmm.
Twins, and the Running Man.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, not a man of many movies. And is it
Right.
because nope, he is still with us today. So he
Mm-hmm.
just didn't do a whole lot. So the
He was the
Scorpion King was the last one he did.
yeah, but he was the barbarian in the House movie too, which is funnily named, or ironically, he was named Arnold
Arnold.
the Barbarian.
House 2, the second story. That's been a year since I've seen that.
Yeah,
I like the first one better, House 1. But yeah,
yeah,
Arnold
absolutely.
Arnold the Barbarian. A couple episodes of television shows, Hawaii Five O, the original one, Magnum PI.
Mhm.
Uh, gosh, I would say of all these movies he's been in, it's just those three really stand out as big hits. So in The Running Man, Twins, Scorpion King, uh, I don't remember The Ride or Wizards of the Lost Kingdom.
Right.
Some movie called Fist Fighter. I don't
I
know
remember
about
the
that one.
ride. I've seen the ride. That's another cowboy type movie. And I mean, it's about rodeoing. I think.
Yeah, I think it is, but I haven't seen
I
it
think it's
though.
about bronc busting, though, not bulls.
So another short-lived career there. So
Yay!
next Stalker, Sub Zero.
Yeah, this is the guy that was running around on the skates with the hockey stuff.
And he is none other than Mr. Professor Tora Tanaka.
Professor.
Do you know, Travis? Can you tell
Mm-mm.
everybody where Professor Tora Tanaka came from years ago?
Where Professor Tora Tanaka came from years ago?
Surely you remember Mr. Fuji and Tora Tanaka.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so that would be was it so now was this WCW or was it WWF?
WWWF.
WWWF.
That's back
Okay.
when that's before we were watching WWF before it changed names to WWE.
Uh,
He did that. I think he was a tag team with Mr. Fuji, if I'm not
mm-hmm.
mistaken. I think they were tag team champs at one point, possibly. But
Tanaka.
he's got a decent movie career making different roles in different time. I mean, Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman.
Mm-hmm.
And he always plays a character. It's got the title Professor in it, or just his actual name of Tanaka. It seems like
Right.
you see a lot of that. Martial Law, um, that was a Cynthia Rothrock movie.
Okay.
He was in that. He was in Black Rain with Michael Douglas. There's a which Chuck Norris movie was it? Was it Good Guys Wear Black or was it? Let's see here. I know he's
Missing
in
in
a Chuck.
action to the beginning.
No, it's before that. Um, going down
He was
here.
in Airwolf.
Oh, An Eye for an Eye was the Chuck Norris movie he was in.
Okay.
And guess what? Guess what character he played?
The
The Professor.
Professor. I
Exactly.
love it. So that was the movie that I guess got him out of wrestling then, yeah?
It must be because before that it just lists WWF Championship Wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
WWF on Madison Square Garden Network, Spectrum Wrestling,
And see,
and then
this has got him credited as coming out of wrestling in '78 too. So,
yeah,
which is strange because I remember, we just said his. I remember the other guy with the top hat, Fuji,
Fuji. Yeah,
Mr. Fuji. I remember him for a long time.
yeah, but Mr. Fuji was a manager for a long time
True,
before
true.
after he wrestled. So
That is
uh,
true.
that is another show for another day. When bringing up wrestling, we'll get really sidetracked on that.
That's true too.
But see, Eye for an Eye looks like his first movie. You're right. TV series: The Fall Guy, Fantasy Island, Gavillain, Bring
Hmm.
'Em Back Alive, Little House on the Prairie, Modesty
Pee Wee's Big
Blaze,
Adventure.
Tales of the Golden Monkey, Wizards and Warriors. Oh, then next movie, Revenge of the Ninja as the sumo servant.
Okay.
So, did you see Revenge of the Ninja?
I don't think I have.
So, back in the early 80s, I told you before, the whole ninja phase was big.
Yep.
And they had Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3, The Domination. And the funny thing about it is none of those movies had nothing in common with the other except that Sho Kosugi was in each one of them. In the first one, Sho Kosugi was the bad guy. that came to kill the main character ninja. In Revenge of the Ninja, he is a guy who moves from Japan with his family, and somebody hurts his family, and he you know goes to his ninja ways and gets his revenge. And Ninja Three: The Domination had Lucinda Dickey in it as well from Breaking and Breaking Two.
Hmm.
She gets possessed by the spirit of this ninja that went on a killing spree against some cops, and the spirit that possesses her is making her get revenge on the cops that killed him. And Shokasugi is called in to stop him from what he's done. Him and that particular ninja have a history, like a past history of fighting each other.
Okay.
So, um, and then of course there was I sent you the link to this. I told you the other day on, I think it's Tubi, Tubi.
Yeah, yeah,
They get all 13 episodes of The Master,
yeah.
which
Heck yeah. Oh yeah, you did send me that. Sure enough.
yeah, that's got the whole thing. I told you if you haven't seen it, here's your chance. 13
Right.
episodes is all it was, but it was fun when it was
Heck
out
yeah.
though. I mean, but he Tanaka goes up there. He had a spot in Night Court one time. He was a wrestler, uncredited. It says
Hmm.
Airwolf, as you mentioned, Missing in Action 2. The beginning was in there as one of the, I guess, one of the opposing people that were holding Chuck Norris and his people,
Right.
in the POW camp. Pee
Small
Wee's Big
part in Dark
Adventure.
Man.
Yep. Volunteers. Tom Hanks movie.
Then he
So,
was in Three Ninjas.
and of course, who wasn't in the A Team at one point?
True
Everybody must have
that.
been in the A Team back then.
Yeah, you had a cameo in the A Team if you was even doing anything.
I think you did. The
Hmm.
Running Man, of course, we're talking about now.
Hmm.
Dead Heat, the Tracy Ullman Show. I mean, he just
And then Arnold called him up again in like 1991 or 92 and was like, Rubber Baby Buggy Bumpers, and put him in The Last Action Hero.
yeah, Last Action Hero. Last movie he's credited with is actually, and it's an uncredited role in the video of Hard Justice.
Oh.
So uncredited, last credited bit, it looks like is Burke's Laws, a TV series,
Hmm.
and he actually passed away in 2000. So
Oh, man.
let's see. Built like the proverbial patent tank, Professor Tor Tanaka was arguably the successor to Harold Sakata as the archetypical Asian henchman who possessed incredible strength and clobbered those foolish enough to tangle with him. His
Yeah,
actual
because
name, born Charles Kalani. I didn't know it was his real name. That's the first I've seen it. That's interesting. That's cool to know.
that's because Bolo Young wasn't available.
I guess so, right? Darn that Bolo Young for hogging the name, right?
Right.
Now, okay, I don't remember this. You're going to point me out where he was in the movie.
Oh, what?
Mick Fleetwood.
Okay, at the very beginning of when they first escape and they're getting the explosive collars taken off,
Yes.
the old man that was talking trash about him that actually took the collar off, that was actually Mick Fleetwood.
Was it really?
Yes, he was the old leader of their resistance or whatever.
Oh, how about that?
Hmm.
Okay. I never caught on to that.
Yeah, they said a whole lot of people missed that. I was reading that earlier.
Wow.
Said that like when it came out, people just didn't even realize that that was actually Mick Fleetwood.
Well, let's not forget the main guy who was stalking people since the day it started, killing people with his bare
Captain
hands.
Freedom.
That's right.
Oh,
Captain
Captain
Freedom,
Freedom.
also known as the Governor, Jesse the Body
Yeah.
Ventura. From wrestling, Jesse the Body Ventura.
The body.
One of those, I think people referred to him like as a Hulk Hogan lookalike, more or less, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the way he was built, the hair and everything,
Hmm.
but he had more of a glam look to him. It seemed like too.
Right, because so him and Hulk both, I know have uh went forward and said too, like Hulk Hogan was kind of based on a little bit of Adonis and then a little bit of Billy Graham, and
Hmm.
then Jesse was pretty heavily Billy Graham. But wasn't Jesse? Isn't Jesse a little bit older than Hulk? Hadn't he been doing it a little bit longer?
I believe he did it a little bit longer. I think he kind of came out before him, but it wasn't quite
Yeah.
big or anything.
Yeah, but I think Jesse Jesse based itself a little more heavily on Billy Graham.
Like the earliest thing they bring in here about Jesse Ventura is 1984, but he's well before then though. He was in the 70s for sure.
Oh yeah.
And all these things they got in here listed, if you're looking at his IMDb, you see a ton of WWF All Star Wrestling and Spectrum Wrestling and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
These are all things where he was announcers. He was a commentator for a long time.
He sure was. Yep.
So if you have any special individuals, like here's a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the British Bulldogs, the Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he's just on these videos as announcers, as being
Mm-hmm.
one of the announcers and such. He had some bit roles in other TV things, like the TV series Small Wonder. He
Mm-hmm.
guest starred on there as Jesse Ventura.
Yep.
Um, then we got Predator, where he played Blaine. That's one of our favorite Arnold
Mm-hmm.
movies, right there.
100.
So we got some other things here. Obviously, the movie we're talking about today. You scroll on up here and you see some more movies with him. We got Thunderground, No Holds Barred as a commentator, which
Mm-hmm.
was that Hulk Hogan in movie in Zeus in the
Zeus.
movie.
Yep. Hulk Hogan and Terry. What his name? Terry too.
Tiny Lister,
Yeah, Tiny Lister.
yeah, he was in Friday as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you got Ventura guest starring in an episode of Hunter, or two episodes of Hunter actually.
Heck yeah.
Up with Jim Dreyer. Ricochet, I believe that was a Denzel movie, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Zorro, the TV series. Renegade, the TV series.
Naked Gun.
Naked Gun.
Yeah, he was in Naked Gun.
Major League now. Major League 2, I don't remember him showing up as it says Jesse Ventura. So he must have played himself in Major League 2, but I don't remember him being in there though.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. He was Cryocon and Demolition Man. What a
Yeah.
good movie. I feel like Demolition Man is one of Stallone's more overlooked movies by most people.
Yeah.
I like Demolition Man a lot.
Did you catch Jesse Ventura being in Batman and Robin? He is an Arkham Asylum guard.
Ooh, I'd have to go back and watch that. I don't
That's
remember.
The one where you got Dr. Freeze. So Arnold's in it.
Yeah.
You know everything Arnold's in. Jesse Ventura's
Yeah.
got a part in it, seems like.
Right.
Just like Spin.
Heck yeah. Just like Spin.
Just like Spin. Let's see what else we got here. Nothing else really much in there. He did some a voice in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV series. But at that point in time, though, he was kind of out and gone at that point. He had done his politics run and everything. He did the governor of Minnesota. He talked about running for president. One time they wouldn't let him do it because they wouldn't let him. He wouldn't do it because they wouldn't let him debate. Being an independent, you're not allowed to debate.
Right.
So he dropped out of that. He went to Mexico, if I'm not mistaken, and took up living in Mexico. So
yeah,
tacos every day.
Sick of our two-party system.
Everybody's getting sick of this system.
I know that's right.
I think everybody's getting sick of just government in general, but that's a different show altogether.
That's a whole different podcast.
That's a whole different podcast. Maybe one day we'll get brave and tackle a podcast like that. Highly doubtful, though.
Oh, yeah. I don't even like it. I don't even like talking about that. It messes up my whole day.
I know, man. Doesn't
Let's get to Spin.
So should we get Spin or should we? Yeah, let's go ahead and get Spin because I
love Spin in this movie. It seemed like this is the only movie I can remember this man in actually having a line as at the end of it.
Where it must be them steroids.
Yeah, at the end of it, he's like, "Help me." He's like, "Get him, Spin," or something like that. He's like, I gotta go find some steroids. Like, he really walked off.
Yeah.
He was
and
cool
for those who don't get what we're talking about, there's a line earlier before that where he's trying to tell Spin to escort Jesse Ventura's character, Captain Freedom, out of the room. And he says, "What's wrong? Does the steroids affect your hearing?
Yeah.
Get him out."
But in the show, he was like a bodyguard, security guard type dude.
Yeah.
He was cool. He wasn't like, he was just kind of quiet and did his job. But then, when it came down to it, he was like, nah.
So just give you a little brief background, everybody, on this guy. He's been in a ton of movies. I'm going to touch the movies in just a second, but his little small bio, born in Denmark, Sven Ole Thorsen has a remarkable sporting background as a champion bodybuilder, powerlifter, and a karate black belt that made him an obvious choice for movie roles as Muscle for Hire. I didn't know he was a black belt.
Yeah, he's done a lot.
says he's almost 6'4". Came to attention as one of Thulsa Doom's bodyguards, which you have brought up in past
Thorgrim.
episodes.
Yeah, he was Thorgrim.
Yeah, the
He was the
hammer
one that
wielding
raised the
Thorgrim.
snake. He said, because when Conan killed the snake, he said Thorgrim is beside himself from great with grief. He raised that snake since it was a hatchling.
You know what's funny? We were talking earlier about your good Optimus Prime voice you do, but you got a James Earl Jones too.
Oh, thank you.
You got a, if I'm if I'm just looking away from you and I hear you doing it, I'm actually
Right.
picturing James Earl Jones in the
Oh,
movie.
that's awesome. So what if I do this one? Simba, you deliberately disobeyed me. And what's worse, you put Nala in danger.
see, see, and the people are listening to this right now, and they're going, "Oh my god, they got James Earl Jones on the show. How would they pull that
That's
off?"
awesome. Heck yeah.
Oh,
Well, thank you.
so it says the hammer wielding Thorgrim in Conan the Barbarian in 1982. He came to Hollywood in 85 and appeared in nearly every Arnold Schwarzenegger film, it says, including Predator, Twins, Red Heat, and End
Hmm.
of Days. His other on screen appearances include Lethal Weapon, The Quick and the Dead, The Hunt for Red October, On Deadly Ground, and Gladiator. He's done extensive stunt work, including Dracula in '92, Bulletproof, Eraser,
Hmm.
Soldier, and Collateral. And Eraser and Collateral are both Arnold movies. And on television, he's been seen in Baywatch and The A Team.
You know how much you got paid to do Twins? $8,000 plus residuals in
Oh, I bet he's
1988.
now the residuals part. That's where it counts right
Yeah,
there.
he might have made some money on that.
He might have.
That's just a well, I guess when we say virtually every Arnold movie, that is, I mean, it is virtually every Arnold movie. But he they didn't even touch on half of the other ones that he's been in. And I don't consider Red Sonja an Arnold movie. He's
No, not
in it, but
really.
it's a real quick cameo.
Right.
And then, but Sven's in it too. And then he's in. Of course, he's in the A Team, and then Lethal Weapon, Overboard. Just, I mean, just all kinds of stuff. What's the Soldiers of Power or something? Captain Power and the Soldiers of Tomorrow or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Pink Cat. He was in the Pink Cadillac. Clint Eastwood movie. Just, I mean, it just got the list of stuff he's been in goes on and on and on. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, another great movie.
And talk about people with bit parts. Now, Spin's got a bit part in the movie. It's not like he's a major player or nothing.
Oh yeah, he's one of them you just see all the time. He
Yeah,
didn't even really ever have any lines.
somebody else that's got a bit part in it that stood out to me is Kurt Fuller.
Hmm.
Now, if you, I know you're looking at the same page on. If you scroll down, you see Kurt Fuller. What do
Hmm.
you recognize him from?
Uh, Tons of stuff. I would say,
We just said one of the movies a minute ago with Jesse Ventura, talking about Jesse Ventura.
oh, nope, I'm drawing a blank again.
No Holds Barred.
No holds barred.
He's the exec guy who is creating the Tough Man competition.
The beehole. He was the beehole.
Pretty much,
He
yeah.
pretty much played the beehole and everything.
Yeah, and now if you're a Supernatural fan, he
Hmm.
was in Supernatural. That's what this picture's from. I'm looking at him now in the suit. That's
Hmm.
from Supernatural.
Okay.
So he was and I can't think of the name of the character. I'm gonna see it in just a second. He was Zachariah,
Okay.
one of the angels, Zachariah in Supernatural.
So he was a
So
detective in he was in dude, like I said, I remember him from so much. It seems like Red Heat, he was in that. He was in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. He was a butthole in Ghostbusters. Um, dude, all kinds of stuff. This like,
a lot
yeah,
of TV
I've seen him in
shows
a
for sure.
bunch of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of TV shows for certain. I mean, he's one of them. I guess maybe like a character actor you'd call him.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
A lot of different things. Um, but movie wise, I mean, the first thing I thought of when I saw him earlier was, that's dude from No Holds Barred for sure.
right. Yeah, he's done a lot of
Oh,
work.
no, I didn't know he was in The Pursuit of Happiness. I don't remember him in that, but he's in that. That's that Will
Oh,
Smith movie.
right.
Yeah, he doesn't slap anybody in that movie. Just so you know,
He does not.
he does not. Nobody that I'm familiar with, at least anyway. He was in Charmed in an episode. I'm sure I've seen it, but don't remember him. Alias, Monk, Anger Management with is that Adam Sandler? Is that an Adam Sandler movie? Anger Management.
Heck yeah, that movie's hilarious,
Yeah,
man.
him
Goose
and Jack
Fraba.
Nicholson, right?
Goose Fraba. Yeah, yeah, it was him and Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson's the one that he was like the psychologist. Dude, that movie's hilarious.
Is that the one where they're singing that "I'm So Pretty" song?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, I've seen it. Then, yeah, I
And he
remember
was
it now.
driving him crazy. So the thing you had to say to calm down was Goose Fraba.
I've only watched it once. I'm sure I've not watched it again since. But all right, let's get back up toward the top here. We got a couple of big people to cover here. We don't want to lose all of our time.
Right, right.
So,
Well, we got a famous son who did marginally okay, I guess, in the music industry.
yeah, but I don't remember
Another
what he
music guy.
did. I don't. Oh, he was the one. He was the like the young kid that was leading part of the resistance, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Dweezil
Dweezil.
Zappa. Dweezil Zappa, father of, I
Dweezil.
mean, son of Frank Zappa.
Yeah.
He's a sister too, don't he? That she has like a funny name, Moon
Yeah, he named
Zappa.
all of he named all his kids something weird.
Like, thanks, Dad. You're the only one with a normal name,
Right?
Frank.
Frank.
I'm sure Zappa's not their real last name. Can't be.
I don't know.
I just can't
Might
see it.
be.
I can't see it. Okay. Well, we got Arnold. Arnold. Ben
Arnold,
Richards,
yeah,
Mr. Ben Richards
yeah.
himself, the alleged butcher of Bakersfield, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We all know. We don't have to touch on Arnold. We know everything Arnold's been in. We know how great he is, the movies that we like, and everything.
Right.
No sense in really going down that road. That's why we skipped him to begin with, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of you who just been under a rock or in a cave, maybe.
Oh my God, how would you not know
I
who?
mean, there's Predators, Commando, there's Terminator, there's Conan, there's Eraser, there's Red
Yeah,
Heat,
you just
there's
go on and on and on.
Raw Deal, there's
Supposedly, there's a new Conan coming.
really,
Yeah, where he's the old king. Remember at the end of both movies, you saw him. He wore his crown upon a heavy brow.
yeah, yeah.
Well, supposedly, and it's been announced. It's official. I mean, it's been announced. They're supposed to be doing uh, a new Conan movie, which has got me, how the children say today, got me hype, boy.
I know you'd be looking forward to it for sure.
Oh my God, dude, that'd be super incredible.
So,
Make
did you
me so
know
happy.
about this movie Running Man? Um, when Rob Cohen purchased the rights for Running Man, he purchased the rights. I guess it is listed as a Richard Bachman novel.
Yeah, that's
He
one of Stephen King's pseudonyms.
Yeah, he had no idea it was a pseudonym for Stephen King
Mm-hmm.
when he bought it. Clueless
Ain't
on
that
that.
funny?
Richard Dawson. We forgot to touch on Richard Dawson. We did skip him.
We
Hosted
did.
Family Feud for so long. He was in Hogan's Heroes. You know, he had a nice little career going for him. He had a couple of movies other than this one too, I believe, that he was in.
Oh, I'm sure he's been quite a few, hasn't he?
I believe he's had. Now, Schwarzenegger,
Mm-hmm.
governor of California for a while. Like Jesse Ventura, he did the whole governor thing. Jesse Ventura did Minnesota. Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor of California. He rode around in a campaign bus. Do you know what he named his campaign bus?
What?
The Running Man.
That's awesome.
After his movie, The Running Man.
So I've been sitting over here going back, not to take anything away from Arnie, but I went back to Frank because that was interesting to me. Frank is his real name. His real name is I think it said his real name is Francis Vincent Zappa Jr. That's his birth name.
So Zappa really is the last name.
Yeah, it really is the last name.
Wow.
And his children, check this out. He's got 4. Check this out. This is great. So I already know Dweezil.
Dweezil.
Dweezil. Then we got Moon, but Moon's middle name is what makes her name incredible. Unit.
Moon Unit.
Her name is Moon UNIT. Moon Unit Zappa.
You
You, s-
said the unit.
you said unit. Yeah, yeah. So then we've got, I don't know which one of these is better. Yeah, this one. I'm going to save this one for last. We've got Diva Zappa.
Yeah,
And then we've got Amet. Amet, like that's
I
pretty
met
crazy. Yeah, that
like
sounds like
like
the
I met a
mummy.
Zappa.
Amet a Zappa. Or like, I feel like it's like something like a Noxuna Moon out of the mummy or something, you know?
Knocks on the moon.
Emotep, Amet. A Noxuna Moon.
Oh god, I'll be
That's
hearing
a pretty
Imhotep
wild
in my head
naming
all night
there.
long now. All night long. I won't get
Oh,
past it.
night
I'll
long.
keep hearing Imhotep.
Yeah. Ahmed.
Imhotep.
Now you can go, Ahmed Zappa. Ahmed
So,
Zappa.
you know, the game show, The Running Man, which is basically what this is about. Yeah, we didn't really bring this up earlier, which we
Hmm.
should have completely. We're just assuming everybody knows what The Running Man is that's listening to us. And for anybody who is, you know, of a younger generation that is trying to get into the retro scene with the movies and everything and don't know, this movie was based on him being wrongfully charged and accused of something that he didn't do. He gets put in prison. They escape. In the future, television has become a lot of reality shows where it's like game shows where they kill, kind of have convicts and things that run through the different game shows. And this one's called The Running Man. They'll put somebody out there and have these stalkers, they call them, hunt them down and kill them. So there's always
Hmm.
betting on which stalker is going to get the kill and which one's not. And giving the people a chance to supposedly break it through. If they win the game, they get like their pardon and stuff, right? And they get so much money. And
But they really don't.
no, they're dead. Dead. Spoiler.
They're
Spoiler.
dead. They're dead.
Um,
Yeah, it's
spoiled
what
for
it's
sure.
it's one of those movies
Um,
about trying to break free
so
of control. You know what I mean? And it's
yeah,
along the time too. You know when we had what was it? Escape from New York, and I
yeah,
mean everything was kind of about that fight. Either freedom fight. No, it was freedom fighting. Like everything,
yeah,
all of our movies were just about freedom fighting. These big action hero movies were. We were either going in and saving somebody else, or we were fighting for our own, dystopian future. We were going to fix our dystopian future, and
yeah.
yeah, it's great though.
So, like I said, we know this is a video. It's a game show, The Running Man. Do you remember
Hmm.
how they had dancers at the beginning of it and
Did
all
you
that kind of
know
but it.
that Paula Abdul choreographed the dancing in this movie?
Did you just steal my thunder?
Did I? I
Did
don't.
you just steal my thunder?
Oh my goodness, I
Like,
might have.
is there a reason why I'm bringing up it was a game show and everything? I
I don't
cannot
know.
believe. Okay, hold on. Is there a way of muting
Am I
Travis?
going on the
Let me see.
list? Put me on the
Oh,
list.
I wish I had that sound
Oh,
bite
you don't
right
have it
now.
right now. Ah,
No,
you just went on the list.
I'm gonna get that again. I need that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, I bet you didn't have. Remember back in the '80s when it was Paula and New Kids and all that stuff. We had the buttons. I had a big Paula Abdul button on my book bag.
No, I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have been caught dead carrying a Paul Abdul button on a book bag, much
Uh
less a
huh.
button, especially not a New
I
Kids. If you
did.
tell me you had a New
I
Kids
did.
button on your book bag, I am kicking you off
Oh
this show.
no! Hell no! Hell no! I had Paula Abdul on mine. I was in love with Paula. My dad used to make fun of me because she had them thick legs. He's like, "Boy, she got them thick legs, don't you? Like you like them old." I forgot what it was he said she looked like. But I'm like, well, Daddy, she was a cheerleader and she's a dancer. Of course, she got big, thick legs. Like, yeah, I like them thick.
Here's your thing about Mick Fleetwood, since you were telling me who he was.
Hmm.
Plays himself in the movie. It's hinted that Mick Fleetwood plays himself in the movie. In the film, the resistance leader's name is Mick. He's
Hmm.
British. And when Mick meets Richards to remove his explosive collar from around his neck, he says to him, "You're one of the cops who locked up all my friends, burned all my songs."
Yeah, that's funny. So he was like kind of playing himself.
Yeah, I wonder now. I
There
do
was
wonder.
something I saw earlier. Um, darn it. There was something I had seen earlier about the Love Boat. There's a connection with the Love Boat in this movie. Um, Let me see if I can find it again.
Oh, while
Well,
you're looking, look, while you're looking for that, since you brought up Paul Abdul earlier,
uh-huh.
many of the dancers were her friends from the Laker girls. So a lot of those dancers were probably Laker
Yes,
girls.
actually, Laker girls. Uh-huh. Heck yeah. That's it. Okay, so Richard Dawson was on the Love or had a history with the Love Boat. And then in Killian's office in the movie, it says we briefly see a poster for a made-up TV show, Hate Boat. This is a nod to the fact that the actor Richard Dawson appeared in TV's Love Boat. So it says since he was on the Love Boat, they put the Hate Boat in his office.
8 boat. So
And then
you know who directed the movie, right?
didn't they go through like 4 directors before they settled on one too?
Well, well, no, that's possible. I don't know, but the one that ended up directing was Paul Michael Glaser, which was
Okay.
from Starsky and Hutch.
Yes.
Says here Schwarzenegger thought Paul Michael Glaser was a terrible choice to direct. What with Glaser coming from a TV background and having no film experience as a director, he thought Glaser shot this film like a TV show, losing all of the script's deeper themes. And Schwarzenegger
Okay.
suspected that because Glaser was a last minute replacement, he didn't have time to research this future he was depicting, unlike James Cameron had with Terminator.
Right.
So also in television, they hire you, and the very next week you shoot. So he didn't place all the blame at Glazer's feet, but
Yeah.
he really feels he was a terrible choice for the director.
Well, see, I just found that I was looking at it was so the Running Man had difficulty finding a director that George P. Cosmatos, that's a weird name, director of Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and Cobra, um, Ferdinand Fairfax, and Andrew Davis, who did Under Siege, were all hired but then fired over creative differences with the producers. And then the next choice, Carl Schinkel, turned the opportunity down. And then finally, the job went to Paul Michael Glaser. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you? I got another. Did you know that I didn't find on IMDb?
Did you know?
It was the main that the Running Man was actually the main inspiration behind TV's Gladiators.
Now, yeah, I've heard that somewhere before, actually.
Yeah, they said
That's got to be true. I mean, think about it. What type of game it is, and how they based the Gladiators game show they did.
yeah.
And we all watched American Gladiators.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Everybody.
who didn't want to be a part of that obstacle course at the end of it? Really, that
Oh,
looked
no
cool,
kidding.
did it not?
I remember. I'll never forget it. I remember there's some little dude who came running. That was like the first like moment I think on like I guess you would that would have been reality TV, wouldn't it? Like that was like early reality TV.
I mean, kind of like. I mean, is it a reality or more of a game show, or
Yeah,
would you
no
call it like a reality show that reminds you more of like a what was the show where they get voted off the island? Survivor,
Survivor. Yeah,
something kind of like maybe
I would
like
think of it
that.
more like the real world without the drama parts
That could be
because
too.
they were
Yeah,
doing the contests and stuff, or not the real world. Yeah,
road
the real
rules,
world. Road rules. Yeah, road rules. Thank
road
you.
rules.
But yeah, they anyway, what I was talking about was when the dude, everybody's seen this, comes running forward and he cuts a flip over the gladiator and goes in for the end zone. It's like running a football
Yeah.
in or something, but
Yes, I remember that.
that was so
I
awesome.
actually remember that. Looks like Arnold got some free plugs in his movie.
Yeah.
World Gym was owned by Schwarzenegger at the time. He was wearing a World Gym sweatshirt in the scene after he
Yep.
escapes
With the
from the
big
prison.
monkey on it. Yeah, because it was funny to me growing up. Because remember, I was always into all that. I never turned into a bodybuilder by any means, but I was always reading Muscle and Fitness and Flex magazine, and like Arnold was my hero and all this and that. And uh, but yeah, Gold's Gym and Powerhouse Gym were like the main competitors. But Powerhouse, it was so funny because Powerhouse was like the exact same logo as
Yeah.
Gold's, but instead of a guy holding the big weight bench, it was a big monkey.
Now it's always fun to see some of these older movies based in the future, right?
Mhm.
Future based films and everything. The film takes place from 2017 to 2019.
Isn't that crazy?
And of course, the future ends up being nothing like they're making it out to be in the movie. But does it
Right.
ever, though? I mean, think about it. Think about Back to the Future too.
Hmm.
You know where they were at when they went to the future and everything. So I mean, obviously, we don't have our flying cars
Yeah, no, not yet. That's
or
that's
no
another one that
jetpacks.
upsets me.
No
That
shoes
there's
that you no shoes that you hit a button and they automatically fit to your feet or a
that's
self
like
drying
yeah,
jacket.
in the comics, man, all the comics were 2020, like Spider-Man 2020. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It was like crazy technologically advanced society, and we had flying cars, and we had all the holographic TV, and on the
right.
verge of having. You know what I want? I don't even care about flying cars. You know what I want?
What do you want?
I want that thing off of damn Star Trek, the replicator. I want you to just be able to
Yes,
walk up. It
I'll take a
don't matter.
pepperoni pizza.
Thank you. Yeah, and it just goes boo, like they don't even. It's faster than a microwave. It's ready to go.
Right, good
That's
to
what I
go.
want. I want the replicator.
So I'm seeing something here. I'm gonna mention this one. Then we're gonna get to our favorite scenes here. We're running short on time, but
Mm-hmm.
um, Mick's Star Trek referencing gag was Mick Fleetwood's idea. He was a huge fan of the original '60s series of Star Trek. This film was in production a year before The Next Generation started. However, 2 years after this film was released, Fleetwood got to achieve a lifetime ambition by having a cameo in the Star Trek The Next Generation season 2 episode Manhunt. So
Yeah.
he I really didn't realize Mick Fleetwood had done, you know, as much as he had done. I'll tell you a quick story about Fleetwood Mac. So, are you familiar with a lot of their music?
I know, goat lady. You
So,
want somebody to love.
so I'm
Uh,
going. I
that
am
might
a.
be Jefferson. Wasn't there one that sounded like her too? Wasn't it Jefferson Airplane or
You
Jefferson
may be
Starship or
thinking. You may
something?
be thinking of Jefferson Starship. They were Jefferson Airplane too. I think in one point they changed it to Starship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they did that. Nothing's going to stop us now. We built this city song.
Yeah,
Those.
yeah.
So, but are you familiar with Fleetwood Mac?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so uh, in high school and just before and after, I was a huge Kiss fan. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, he said Kiss. He called them a band. He called them a band." I don't want to hear it, people. They play
Right.
music. They get a great show. They are a band.
Right.
So I'm watching here in Nashville. They have at the Riverfront the Gibson Guitar Special for the year, and they have a concert. And Fleetwood Mac and Kiss are doing the concert. So I'm just there for Kiss. I'm like 10 feet from the stage, right? And I'm listening to Fleetwood Mac, and I did not realize how many Fleetwood Mac songs I really knew. I knew practically the whole show they did.
Really?
Never knew it was them.
That's crazy.
The only ones I knew of were the ones I had just seen on videos that year and the previous year. And so like seeing Little Lies, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was called, or Tell Me Lies, one or the
Yeah,
other, I
tell me
forget which.
lies, tell me sweet little
And
lies.
I knew who Stevie Nicks
Tell me
was, you
lies,
know.
tell me lies.
Exactly. Yeah. I knew who
I tell you,
Stevie Nicks
another
was and
band.
all, but I didn't know Mick Fleetwood really, or I didn't know the group in general. I didn't realize I knew as many songs as I did. And then to see him and stuff like this, it just makes me think like I didn't know nothing about them at the time, and I still know nothing about him as a person.
Right, right. That's like another band that's kind of the same way.
What's that?
They're like you don't realize you know all their daggum songs, but you do. Hall and Oates.
I mean, I'm an '80s, nut, so I do know more of the Hall and Oates things that I knew was them, but you may
Right?
not have. So, watch them private eyes, though. They're watching you.
Them private eyes is watching you. But didn't they
I,
do Man Eater too?
I started to say they're probably watching for the man eater.
Yeah. Oh, here she come.
They have a lot of good songs, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Hall and Oates was
So,
good. Awesome.
if going back to the movie, is there a favorite scene that stands out to you that you can pick as your absolute favorite scene from the movie?
After rewatching it today, in particular, I guess the big ones are the normal standouts like Buzzsaw getting cut in half, and
He had to
but
split.
yeah, he had to split. But think what you just did, things like that are what makes the movies now for me. I'll going back and look at all those little pieces, all those little one-liners, and all the little corny cheese from you know what I mean. I think
Yeah.
those things stacked up together were my favorite, and I think probably if I had to pick one in particular out, when they, when they're walking into the they're going into trying to sneak through the airport, and she's like, "I get car sick, I get air sick. Just now, I'm going to throw up on you." He's like, "Go ahead, it won't show on this shit." He's wearing that stupid Hawaiian print.
Yeah.
Go ahead, it won't show. It won't
It
show.
won't, it won't show. I'm with you on favorite stuff. It's just the little one liners because no real scene stands out over any others to me.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
exactly.
the movie was good to me in general, but I can't pick one scene that satisfies me more than another and stands out. So
Hmm.
as he's killing off the stalkers, like he said, where's what happened to the guy? Oh, he had to split because he
Yeah.
takes the chainsaw right up
How
between the
about the
legs to
very
him. Or
beginning? The very beginning was the one that got me too, because it's kind of it starts off with the helicopter scene, and then it shows them creating the ruckus in the prison camp, and like when he picked the guy up and he looked at him, and there's this. It's so funny because you don't recognize it unless you're doing things like what we do and loving these movies for these things.
right,
I didn't remember this happening, but I just knew it from because it's a forgettable moment. But I knew it was coming from the look on his face. I was like, here we go. And he looked at him. He goes, "Need a lift?" Before he threw him off the
yeah,
side of the thing.
right,
Like I knew something cheesy was about to happen. Just the
right.
look on his face. I was like, "Here we go, here we go," and like the movie kicked off right there for me.
And speaking of the beginning of it, I forgot to mention this earlier. I want to bring it up. The footage of the attacking helicopters.
Mhm.
That footage is from King Kong 1976.
Are you serious? That's
Yeah.
great.
Yes. A little did you know that we didn't know.
Right.
Um, but yeah, anything stand out that you don't like about the movie?
Uh Not really. I mean, it's to me, it's part of my childhood and it's classic, and I just couldn't see how it could have been. I mean, there's a thousand ways you probably could have made it a better movie, but for what it is and being a part of cinematic history, nah. It's not like having my guy in the wrong uh uh clothing for you know what I mean? Like having to wear some other actor's wardrobe.
Right.
It wasn't anything
Commando.
bad like that for me. Yeah.
Commando. Uh,
Yeah, there's only a couple of his movies that I really don't enjoy, and it's not that I don't enjoy Command. I love Commando. I don't like his opposition in Commando. I don't think it's good enough for him. I don't think they're. It doesn't convince me. And then Raw Deal. I did not. I, I just something about Raw Deal. I don't love Raw Deal.
yeah, I didn't either.
But
Really.
every other movie, even the ones other people hate, well, Last Action Hero, for example, I love Last Action Hero.
Junior.
Okay, yeah, Junior's.
Junior.
Yeah, okay, maybe Junior.
Arn, Arnold's Rhinestone. Junior.
Yeah, that's definitely Arnold's Rhinestone for sure. That was a terrible movie.
Can't take it. Was not good. Was not good. All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it for the movie this week. I mean, I would definitely recommend watching the movie. If you're an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, you won't be disappointed in the movie. This is one of his great actions he had back in the 80s. And his actions were always the best for me at that time.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say he can't make a funny movie because Kindergarten Cop definitely got me laughing.
Oh my god.
But I
Well, that
mean,
was that was what did it for with Last Action Hero. The little stupid stuff that he did when he snatched the dude out of the car. It's pouring down rain. He's like rubber baby buggy bumpers. Like, you didn't know I was going to say that, did you?
you know what? Before I get into the actual closing stuff, we're gonna have to, I want to mention this. We're gonna have to do Kindergarten Cop one day. You know why?
I'm with it.
Because even in Kindergarten Cop, the little kid knew what a boy and a girl was,
I right. Yeah. No kidding.
unlike a lot of people today. So that's gonna get us canceled, isn't it? If you
Right. Slow your roll
what
over there. We want
what's
some
he say?
longevity.
Comes up and tugs on his shirt. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
That's right.
He's like, thank you, I'll keep that in mind. Oh my gosh. So I mean, obviously, Travis, people can find us anywhere where the podcast are downloaded at. We got
Everywhere.
Spotify, we got iTunes.
Hmm.
We got a website now. You can listen to us straight from the website, like somebody
Oh
here does when
yeah,
he's at
baby.
work.
I sure do, cause we bad, bad,
Gets
bad,
little,
bad,
gets little
bad.
on the shows that he misses, or
Nationwide.
if he gets bored and wants to hear his voice, he can listen to it
Yup.
over and over.
That's what I'm talking
Website
about.
www.retrolife, the number 4, the letter u.com.
Mm-hmm. You gonna is the cup of Joe going in the intro? Or we gonna say that here too?
No, we don't have that. Well, I mean, we got the what's it called? Not Cup of
Some
Joe.
cup of
Buy me a
coffee.
coffee.
Virtual coffee or
It's
something?
called Buy Me a Coffee. Basically, you can help support the podcast and help us out getting the word out there, bringing people to the show, doing some advertising and things like that. That's basically what it would go for. Things for the show itself that help the show grow. If you want to do that, it's basically making a virtual donation to us, or I'm sorry, buying a virtual coffee, which makes a donation to the show and a monetary value, which goes, like I said, strictly for things for the show.
Heck yeah.
So, but you can see that it's actually linked off of the website. So if you go to the website first, you can find that link on there. And also at the top of the page, there's a thing for Podchaser. You can click on that and give us, it's got up to 5 stars. So give us a 5 star on there if you like the show. And if you don't like the show, give us a pity 5 star rating. We'll take that too. We're not too proud.
That's
We are
right.
on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we're on TikTok. So follow us at all the social media places. Share us with your family, share us with your friends. Get the word out there and get some people listening. And the bigger we get, the better it's going to get. So
Absolutely.
definitely look forward to the next week. Each week we get this on here. So Travis, any closing
Mhm.
words for us? Any parting words on the show today? Any words of
Oh, I got one.
wisdom?
I got one last piece of trivia.
You do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So do you know what Arnold Schwarzenegger says to his garden after the first watering of each season?
I have no idea.
You have been germinated.